Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing good today. It is nice and early right now, so I am still trying to wake up. It is Tuesday, July 28th, 2020, and it is 8:30 a.m. Okay, so today I have a book for you all, and it is a special book. It is called Think Big, Little One. Have you ever heard of this book before? Look at the pictures. What do you think they're all doing? Let's see. She is just standing there. She has a colorful dress on and flowers in her hair, and she's got paint in her hand. And this lady has a beautiful purple dress on, and she has a guitar in her hand. I wonder what special things they're going to do. We're going to talk about them. So before we get started, I want you to think about the title of our book and what it means. So the title is Think Big, Little One. So little one, that usually refers to a small child or just a younger person. And that is something that maybe an older individual would say, or maybe someone older than the person they're talking to. So what do you think the words think big means? If someone said that to you, what would you think? I think big means to expand your mind. So whenever we are growing up, we are taught things from our families and our friends and our teachers to how to think or how the world works or what we can do. And I think to think big means to think outside of all of that. So just come up with our own ideas and ways of doing things. So to never put yourself in a box, because we can always do more than we think. All right, so let's get started on our book and then we'll talk more about it at the end. So our title, once again, is Think Big, Little One. And it is written by Vashti Harrison. So that is the author of our book, which means that they wrote the words in the book. And then we look at the spine of our book, and it says Vashti Harrison, so that's our author again. Think Big, Little One, that's our title. And then we have LB Kids at the bottom, and that's probably the publisher. And here is the back of our book. So we have some pictures of some women from history, and we'll learn about special things that they have done inside. And it says, Think big, little one, the world is waiting for you. Wow. What do you think that means? The world is waiting for you. I think that means when you grow up and you figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life, whether it's be a teacher or a doctor or a writer or an artist, the world will be ready for whatever you have to offer. Okay, it says, from Ada Lovelace and Toni Morrison to Marie Curie and Frida Kahlo, with these extraordinary role models, your little one will be inspired to be curious and think big. So maybe that's what thinking big means, to be curious about the world. All right, let's see. Think big, little one. There's a whole world waiting for you. Just look at all the women who made their dreams come true. Maybe those are the women that they're talking about. Discover new things like Zany, Marie, and Rosetta. Who are those people? Look, we have a music note, a cross, a star, a bow and arrow. Oh, here's our first one. Wang Zhengyi explained how the moon eclipses the sun. Wow. Do you all know what that means? Have you ever seen an eclipse? I have seen one. The one that I saw was a solar eclipse. And it was the middle of the day, and we waited and we waited, and it went a little dark. Okay, so this must means that she explained to the world how the moon can eclipse the sun. Wow, isn't that cool? Marie Curie uncovered new chemical elements. Looks, you have a table back here, and there's some items on it. They look like scientific chemistry items. Wow. And can you tell me, why is this extraordinary? We have people nowadays who do this, right? Yeah. But back during her time, women did not, they were not scientists or chemists at all. And it was actually very rare for women to work. Usually they would stay home and take care of their families. So she went outside of the normal, and she was a chemist and uncovered new chemical elements which make up our world. That's pretty amazing. Sister Rosetta Tharpe. Oh, look, there's the girl from the front. She has her purple dress and her guitar. And it says, she showed people how to rock and roll. What does that mean? Yeah, that means she rock and rolled. She played music for everyone. How cool. And at the end, we'll come back and we'll look at the women in the story, and we'll learn even more about some of them. Okay, our second part says, make a difference, like Wangari, Claudia, and Corita. What do you think it means to make a difference? Let's see what these women did to make a difference. Wangari Maathai planted trees so her community could grow. Wow. What kind of trees do you think she planted? I wonder if she planted big, tall, strong trees, or if she planted little bushes and flowers, or maybe she planted food trees. So she could have grown some fruit and helped supply some food for her community. Claudia Jones created a newspaper for her people. It says the West Indian Gazette. I wonder if that is the name of the newspaper. And right here it says, no color ban on immigration. And they're holding up signs in the picture, and it says equality and we can live in harmony. Wow, look, it's written really, really small. Do you see it? We can live in harmony. And it says, carnival. Oh, look, and right here, there are some people dancing. And right here, it says, a people's art is the genesis of their freedom. Do you know what that means? A people's art is the genesis of their freedom. Well, the word genesis means to start or the beginning. So the people's art, so like writing, drawing, painting, singing, is the start of their freedom. So maybe that means how people express themselves and what they like and what they want to do and how they want to show themselves to the world is the beginning of their freedom. Wow. Sister Corita Kent crafted bold messages of love and peace. Wow. I wonder if these pictures in the background are the paintings that she made to spread love and peace. See, this one looks like it's going to say love because there's a big L-O. And then this one says hope, but it's backwards. And then this one looks like it's saying happy and love or happy and hope backwards too. Interesting. All right, and this section says color outside the lines like Mary, Yayo, and Ada. Ooh, look at this lady. She's got a pretty green dress on, and she's holding paint colors and a paintbrush. Let's see what she did. So she is Mary Blair, and she worked with colors like no one else. Wow. I wonder what she did with her colors. Maybe we'll talk about her at the end. Gayo Fujikawa. Wow, that's a long last name. She illustrated children of many races in her books. So, do we remember what illustrated means? Remember on the beginning of our page, on our front page, you usually have a title, the author, and the illustrator. And the author is the person who writes the words. Do you remember what the illustrator is? I think the illustrator is the person who colors and draws our pictures. So Gaio Fujikawa colored and drew children of many different races in her books so that everyone was shown and represented. Yeah, your mom says to color in the lines. Yeah, that's a good idea actually. Do you think they mean to really color outside of the lines when you're drawing or coloring? No, I don't think so. I think they mean to do things that are not expected and not normal. So to go outside the lines of life, just like Mary Blair did when she colored like no one else. So she was unique and different. And then Gaio illustrated children of many races in her books when not everyone else did that. And then we have Ada Lovelace. She used both art and science to expand her ideas. So that's like what we were talking about earlier. Whenever we grow up, we're taught by our family and our friends and our teachers how to think about the world and how to go on in the world. But it says Ada Lovelace used art and science to expand her ideas that she already had. So she learned through art and science to expand her mind. And this part says, shine a light on your culture. What does that mean? Does that mean to take a flashlight and shine it on parts of your culture? No. So I think shining a light on your culture means to kind of put it in the spotlight. So bring attention to it and teach other people about it. Because how are other people supposed to know about your culture if they're not living in it and no one ever tells them about it or they never get to learn about it? So talk about your culture and bring it to the spotlight. Like Tony, Frida, Violetta, Catherine, and Fan Coopy. Wow, that's a lot of people who are bringing their culture to the light. So our first one is Toni Morrison. She shared African American stories with the world. Wow. So I wonder if she was an author and wrote books, or if she was a storyteller. It looks like in the background she has some books, so maybe she was an author. So she shared stories of African American people with the world. That's awesome. Ooh, and here's another one of our women on the front page. Frida Kahlo. She painted her feelings and opinions. Wow. Look, remember with her colorful dress and her colorful flowers in her hair? And then she's got paint colors all over her board and a paintbrush. I wonder how she painted her feelings and opinions. What do you think that she painted about? I don't know, maybe we'll look her up at the end and we can figure it out. Violeta Parra preserved the songs of Chile for all to learn. So she must have grown up in Chile. And what does it mean to preserve? So she preserved songs of Chile for all people to learn. I think this means that growing up in Chile, she learned a bunch of songs and played music, maybe with her friends and family. And whenever she grew up, she continued to play those songs for all others to learn so that they could join in and enjoy it. Katherine Dunham. What is she doing? It looks like she's got a big flowy dress on, and one leg is down here, but the other one is way up there. Looks like she's dancing. So Katherine Dunham learned about Africa through dance. Oh, wow. Have you ever seen African dances? They're beautiful. And they might look a lot different from what we're used to in the United States, but they are beautiful. And you should look them up if you haven't. Our next lady is Vancoupie Gloria Fletcher. Wow, that is a long name. Look how long that is. She has 3 names, and her first name is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 letters. Wow, that's a lot. So, Vancoupie Gloria Fletcher passed down her Aboriginal traditions with pottery. So she made pottery. And look, I think these are some examples in the back. See if you can see them. There are people in this one and stars. And it looks like there might be animals on this one. So she made pottery and passed down her traditions through the pottery. How cool. In our next section, I think this is our last one. Yes, this is our last section. It says, see the world differently. What does that mean? How can you see the world differently? Because you can only see what you can see, right? But this means, this is talking about perspective. So we know the world from how we grow up. So the things that we've experienced and the people that we've come across and the traditions and laws that we're raised in and the culture. So that is our perspective. It's how the world looks from the situations that we've grown up in. So you can see the world differently by learning about other people's situations and gaining their perspective. So then this means changing our worldview, how we see the world based on who we're taking the perspective of. So see the world differently, like Zaha, Asima, Grace, and Bessie. What do we have up here? I see a light bulb and some tools. There's a magnifying glass and some paper. Here's a pencil and paintbrush. Okay, let's see. Zaha Hadid designed buildings that curved and swiveled. How can buildings curve and swivel? It sounds dangerous. But it sounds like if she was building buildings, she was an architect, which is a job that people go and they design buildings just like her. So I guess buildings that curve and swiveled, that would be a way to see the world differently because you don't see many buildings like that now. Next, we have Syma Chatterjee. She found medicine in flowers. How can you do that? Have you ever heard of that? And let me look up the word. There's a word for this. I want to say, let me look. There she is. So, phytomedicine is a word for finding medicine in flowers. So, it's a way of giving people medicine that's natural and that comes naturally from the earth. Instead of putting a bunch of chemicals and man made elements in our body, she found ways to make medicine out of flowers using phytomedicine. How cool is that? Our next one is Grace Hopper. And look at her uniform. What kind of uniform does that look like? And if you can't see it, she has a hat on, and there's a bird on her hat. And she has a dress on or a skirt and a blouse with a jacket. And it has some gold trim and buttons. She's got some kind of tag or brooch there. So it says Grace Hopper created a way for people to talk to computers. Wow, how do you talk to computers? What do you think they mean by this? Oh, look, she's holding a piece of paper and it has some letters on it. It has the letter COBOL. What does that mean? Maybe it's a a manual with codes on it for computers so that people could learn how to work computers. I don't think it means to sit there and have a conversation with the computers, but maybe we could learn how to code so that we can use the computers. And this is our last lady we're going to talk about, Bessie Blount Griffin. Wow, See all the pictures in the background? What are those crazy structures? Do you see them? It says she invented tools to help the sick. What do you think those could be? Do you think she was a doctor? Maybe. There's a figure 3, figure 1. Oh, it says patent, and then there's a number. So maybe that means she was an inventor, because if you invent something, you can get it patented. But she invented tools to help the sick. And the last page says, wherever you are, whatever you'll be, think big and believe in yourself. The world is waiting. You will see. Wow. So wherever you are in the world and whatever you want to grow up and be, think big. So expand your mind. Believe in yourself. So that means to have confidence. The world is waiting. So the world is ready for whatever you want to grow up and do. You will see. All right, guys. So that is our book. What did you think about all of those women and the wonderful things that they did? It's pretty awesome. So here is just the list again of everything that it was telling us to do. So it said to think big, which means expand your mind, discover new things, make a difference, color outside the lines, shine a light on your culture, and see the world differently. Wow. So just by using these 5 steps, you could end up in a book like this one day too. How cool is that? All right, you all. Thank you so much for coming so early in the morning to read this story with me. Think big, little one. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back again today at 10:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. for 2 more stories and activities. So I will be back in the chat box to comment while we have some more friends to read us stories. So I will see you all in just a little bit. Thank you for coming. Bye.